tell you a quick story. Bridge Fest, a couple of years ago. My son Nikos has spina bifida, and right before he was born, there's a pastor out in Maine, Calvary Chapel pastor. His name is Ken Graves. I don't know if anybody's familiar with him, but I had gone to a men's conference, and I told him a little bit about what was going on, that my son was about to be born, that he was going to have challenges, everything that we faced leading up to that. And the next day, with this huge gathering of men, he prayed with all the men for my son Nikos, and it was just incredible. I mean, I was so moved. I saw him about a year later, and I saw him at Bridge Fest, or maybe it was a couple years, I forget, but I saw him at Bridge Fest, and I said, brother, I just want to thank you so much. When we met that time at the conference and you prayed for my son, this is my son now. I'm so grateful for the prayer. I said, can I take you out to breakfast as a thank you? He said, absolutely, I got to eat. Let's go have breakfast. So me and my family, we go to breakfast at a local place. We're having breakfast, and he says, oh man, I love this pork roll. Every time I come to Jersey, I can't get enough of this pork roll. So my wife says, oh, we're going to get you some before you leave. He says, no, this is good. I just enjoyed here at breakfast. He says, no, we're going to go to Costco. I'm going to get you a big thing like this, a pork roll to take home with you. And he's like, oh, you're funny. No, thank you. That's really nice, but no thank you. It's good. I'm good. Just I'll have this little bit. And she's like being very insistent, right? To the point that at breakfast, I'm like, babe, it's like, come on, So we spend the whole day at Bridge Fest. It's getting a little bit later. It's like 3 p.m. Everybody's getting ready to go home now, right? So we get in the car, long day, kids, everything. We get in the car, and my wife says, oh, the pork roll. I said, honey, he doesn't want the pork roll. It's all good. And she says, we have to go get that pork roll. I said, okay, all right. So we go to Costco. We get this big thing of pork roll. And she calls him up. We call him up. And he says, oh, my gosh, you guys are so sweet that you didn't have to do that. We're already on our way back to Maine. I'm on my way back to Maine, but that was so nice of you. Thank you so much. He's like in the back of his mind, leave me alone now. So my wife goes, it's on speaker. She goes, is your team still here, the sound team that you had, the sound techs? And he goes, yeah, I think they're still there. So she goes, can we have their number? I'm like, what? This is crazy. So we call the sound people, and they answer the phone, and she says, hey, can we meet you to give you this pork roll for Pastor Ken? They say, we went out to dinner, actually, but we're staying at this hotel. You could bring it when we're done if you want. So my wife says, okay, we'll do that. And I'm like, this is incredible. So we go home, finally get the call. I'm getting in my car. I'm so relieved because I'm finally going to offload this pork roll and not have to deal with this anymore, right? And so I head to it's only like 10 minutes from my house. I head there. I bring the pork roll, drop it off. Bye-bye, have a great trip, whatever. I come back, and there's a truck on the side of the road with the wheel off on one side. And there's a guy pacing back and forth, looks very, very upset. So I stop, and I say, hey, man, you all right? What's going on? And he says, oh, my gosh, bro, thank God I wasn't on the parkway or on the turnpike. I could have killed somebody. The wheel came off. He said, I'm calling. Nobody's answering. I'm calling my bike. I don't know where. I'm not from around here. So I said, okay, calm down. I'll help you. I got a phone. I got whatever you need. So we're talking, and I must have, in 2 minutes, given him a quick testimony. And I mentioned that Jesus Christ saved me in a psychiatric ward, right? And he starts screaming at the top of his lungs, I'm in that psych ward right now. And he's like this. And I backed up a little bit because I said, I don't know what's going on with this guy, but it's a little bit off-putting, right? Then I didn't know what to do anymore because he's crying and he's having a breakdown. I didn't know what to do, so I just hugged him. I hugged him, and we prayed together, and I brought him to the store. And then he says, I just got out of prison. I've been in gangs all my life. He said, I just got home. I don't want to be involved in that life anymore. I went to a funeral the other day because there was a gang murder in the neighborhood, and I had to go to, and I'm around all these people, and I just don't want to get back involved in this life. I tried to get this job, all these different things. And I said, have you ever received Jesus in your heart? Have you ever given your heart and your life to Jesus Christ? And he's like he never heard it before. I think we grow up in the United States. You think everybody heard the gospel, right? But if you ask most people, if you ask 20 people, how does a person get to heaven? They're going to say, if I do good enough and I'm nice to people, and they'll have all those kinds of answers. They're not going to tell you because of Jesus Christ. So I presented the gospel to him in a very simple, very practical way. And he said, I want to pray to receive Jesus in my heart. Right there in that car, my car, when I brought him to the store. I don't know what became of this man. I never saw him again. But he said to me, there's a church right in my neighborhood, and I'm going to go talk to that pastor on Monday. And I looked up the church, and I looked up the pastor to see if it actually existed, And sure enough, right there in that neighborhood he was talking about, and I'm hoping with everything I have that man is now living for Jesus somewhere. I don't know. But there's missions going on right where we are. All from pork roll? Would you ever have thought that it's like the Lord can use anything, right?